Hi everyone, in this video I'm going to solve Cambridge IGCSE Mathematics Paper 4 Extended, which is non-calculator specimen paper B for examination from 2025. So from 2025 onwards you have given the list of formulas for areas, volumes and some trigonometric formulas as well. Question number 1, find the reciprocal of 0.35. Since calculator is allowed, so first we have to find what is 0.35 as a fraction. 0.35 is 7 out of 20. So the reciprocal of 7 out of 20 is 20 over 7. Question number 2, we have to calculate this. So 4 square is 16 minus 1.9 divides 3.2 minus 2.6. Let me simplify this. 16 take away 1.9 is 14.1 over 3.2 minus 2.6, 0.6. 14.1 divides 0.6, it becomes 23.5 is the final answer. Question number 3, Naveen and Ether shares some money in the ratio Naveen ratio Ether is 5:7. Okay, so part A, find the Naveen's share as a percentage of the total money. So the Naveen's share, you guys can see, is 5. So the Naveen's share is 5 of the total money. So we have to find the total ratio, which is 5 plus 7, that is 12. And for the percentage, you have to times it by 100. Simplify 5 out of 12 times it by 100 is 41.6667. So 41.7%. Part B, find Ether's share as a percentage of Naveen's share. Okay, so Ether's share as a percentage of Naveen's share. Ether's share is 7, Naveen's share is 5. So as a percentage, so times it by 100. 7 out of 5 times it by 100, that is 140%. Yes, it is percent. All right. Now for part C, Naveen's share is $160. Okay, work out Ether's shares, right? So Naveen share is in a ratio of 5, right? So Naveen's share is in the ratio of 5. So if 5 is representing $160, so what 1 represent? 1 represent 160 out of $5. 160 over 5 is 32. So 1 represent $32. So for Ether's share, since the Ether share is in the ratio of 7, so what 7 represent? 7 is equals to 7 times $32. Times it by 7, this is $224 is for the Ether. Question number 4, part A, we have to simplify this. Number 1, we have the two square terms, which is 5x square minus x square, and the two x terms minus 7x and plus 6x. So the simplified form is the x square coefficients are 5 and minus 1, it becomes 4x square. X coefficients are minus 7 and plus 6, so minus x. So 4x square minus 6, or you can take x common, which is 4x minus 1. Both are correct. Second part, so whenever you have fractions and the division sign, so you have to convert the division sign into multiplication and take the reciprocal of the second fraction. 2a over 9y, it becomes 9y over 2a. The first fraction stays the same each time. So y is cancelled with y. 3 times 3 makes 9. So 4x over 1 times 3 over 2a. 2 times 2 is 4, yes. 2 times 3x, this is 6x over a. This is a simplified answer. Part B, we have to solve this. Okay, so 5 times 3 or 5 times 3 is 15. Yes, 5 times 2 is negative 10x. This is equals to 17. Okay, so we have minus 10x. keep the variables on the left side and the constants on the right side. 17 subtract 15. So negative 10x, this becomes equals to 2. From 17 take away 15 is 2, and x would be equals to 2 out of minus 10. 2 times 1 is 2, 2 times 5 is 10. So the x answer is 1 over 5 with a negative sign, minus 1 out of 5. Question number 5. The diagram shows a trapezium ABEF. A, B, E, and F. This is a trapezium joined to a square BCED. This is a square. All four sides have same length. ABC is a straight line. A, B, and C. This is a straight line, and the length of AB is given, which is 7 centimeter. AF and BE. A to F and B to E. They are in the ratio of 3 and 2. A to F is in the ratio of 3 and BF is in the ratio of 2. The area of a square is 32 centimeters square. Calculate the area of a trapezium. Okay, so as we know, the formula for area of a square, area of the square has a formula which is side times side, or side square, right? Since the area is 32 and this is s square, we can say, so to get the s value we can do 32 square root, this is my s. So simplify, 32 root is 4 root 2. So s would be 4 root 2 centimeters. So means all the four sides of a square, this is 4 root 2, this is also 4 root 2, this side is 4 root 2, and this side is 4 root 2. As we know, square has all four sides are equal. Now we have to solve for the area of a trapezium. And area of a trapezium is area of the trapezium. This is equals to half sum of parallel sides, we can say a plus b, and multiply by the height. So here you can see this is the height of the trapezium, which is AB, and these are the two parallel sides. We know the side BE, we know AB, but we don't know this side. Okay, what is AF? Let me solve for AF first and then plug into the formula. So AF is in the ratio of 3, we all know. Okay, and BE is basically in the ratio of 2, and BE is 4 root 2. Okay, so BE is in the ratio of 2 and BE is basically 4 root 2 is in the ratio of 2, right? So what is in the ratio of 1? 4 root 2 divided by 2, this is equals to 1, which is 2 root 2. 2 root 2 is for 1. Okay, let me solve for AF. AF is in the ratio of 3. What 3 represent? Okay, so AF is basically in the ratio of 3. So what 3 represent? 3 represent 3 times 2 root 2. 3 times 2 root 2. This is equals to 6 root 2. That is 6 root 2. Now plug everything into the formula. The two parallel sides, their sum, multiply by height and divided by 2. Alright, so we can say the area of the trapezium is half sum of parallel sides are 4 root 2 plus 6 root 2 multiplied by the height of the trapezium is 7. Okay, so here we have half, we have 4 plus 2, 4 plus 6 makes 10 root 2 multiplied by 7. Okay, 2 times 5 is 10 and 5 times 7 is 35 root 2. So the final answer is 35 root 2 centimeter square, or you can say 35 root 2 in terms of decimal is 49.5 centimeter square. Question number 6, write the number in standard form. So we have to move the decimal point 1 unit and 2 units. So this is 4.73 multiplied 10 to the power 2. Since we are moving to the right, so it is negative 2. When we are moving to the left, it is positive 2. So the answer is 4.73 times 10 to the power negative 2. Question number 7, part A. Talia invests $1,500 in a saving account for 4 years. The amount pays simple interest at a rate of 216% of the year. So let me solve for the rate first. So what is the rate? 6 times 2 is 12 and 12 plus 1 is 13 out of 6%. 13 by 6%. Calculate the total interest she receives at the end of 4 years. So it is a simple interest question. So in simple interest question, the interest, total interest is I equals to P R T. That is the formula for simple interest. So I would be P is the investment, which is 1,500. R is the interest rate, which is 13 out of 6%. So for percent, we have to divide it by 100, multiply by the amount of years are 4. Just simplify. So 13 out of 6 and divided by 100 is this, times it by 4 and times it by 1,500, $130. This much interest he will earn at the end of 4 years. Now for part B, Kalen invest 1,500 in a different saving account. The account pays compound interest at a rate of R% per year. At the end of 5 years, the value of investment is this much. Calculate the value of R. It is a compound interest question. So use the formula for compound interest, which is A equals to P into 1 plus R to the power T. Amount we have given is 1,825 and the investment is 1,500 into 1 plus R we have to solve. So R is in terms of percent, so divided by 100 and T is 5 years. Just simplify. So dividing both sides, the first step is dividing both sides by 1,500. This is cancelled out. And what is 1825 over 1500? This is 72 over 60, 73 over 60. This would be equals to 1 plus R over 100 to the power of 5. Now, to solve for R, the next step is to get rid of this power 5. So, taking the power 1 by 5 on both sides. 1 over 5 on both sides. Okay, this power we get rid of. 72 over 60 to the power 1 by 5 is this much. 1.0400. That is equals to 1 plus R over 100. Now the next step is to get rid of this 1. So subtract 1 on both sides. 1 minus 0.4 minus 1 equals to R over 100. When we subtract 1, this is 0.0400. 0.0400 equals to R over 100. Now to solve for R, you have to multiply both sides by 100. So R is 0.0400 times it by 100. This term times by 100, this would be 4%. Or we can say 4.00. So interest rate is 4. Question number 8, part A. On the map, the distance between two cities is 7.3 centimeters. The actual distance between the two cities is 365 kilometers. The scale of this map is 1:n. Find the value of n. Centimeters and kilometers. We know that 1 kilometer is equals to 100,000 centimeter. Yes. Now, what is 365 kilometers? 365 kilometers is equals to 365 times by 100,000 centimeters. This is 365 times 100,000. This would be 365 with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 zeros. This is in centimeters. Now we have to find our answer for 7.3 centimeters. So what is 7.3 centimeters? So this quantity 365 with 5 zeros divide by 7.5. 7.3, sorry. This is dividing by 7.3, which is equals to 1 tens, 100,000, 100,000, million. Yeah, it's 5 million. 5 and with 6 zeros. Yes, 1 tens, 100,000, 10,000, 100,000 and million. Yeah. So then value is 5 million. Now for part B, the diagram shows the position of town A, B and C. The towns are joined by a straight road. Okay, these are the town A, B and C. These are the straight roads. Part 1, the bearing of A from B is 70 degree. The bearing of A from B means this would be 70 degree. Find the bearing of B from A. So from A we have to find out the bearing. It means from north line of A till the B, this would be the bearing we have to calculate. Okay, so as we know, this straight line is 180 degree. In 180 we add something to get that bearing, right? Okay, now let's use a concept of alternate angles. If you have two parallel lines and they are joined with one line, this angle and this angle are same. They are alternate angles. Alternate. Okay. Now, let me extend this line, and extending this line, they are joining with this. So this angle is 70, this angle is also 70. So we add in 180 degree, we add 70. This would be the bearing. Let me calculate this. 180 plus 70, that is 250. 250 degrees, that is the bearing. Now for the second part, the bearing of C from A. The bearing of C, let me draw the north line at C as well. The bearing of C from this A, this is 195 degree, 195. Okay, let me use a different color pen to differentiate it. The bearing of C from A means the north line of A till this one is 195 degrees. All right. Now angle BAC, B, C and A, this angle is 113. B, C and A, yes. Find the bearing of C from B. From B. Okay. The bearing of C from B, we have to calculate it. The bearing of C from B is from north line of B till this C, that is the bearing. So it means in 70 we have to add this angle to get the bearing. Now what is that angle? Okay, if we have this angle of the triangle, all right, okay, let's do from here. As you can see, this hole is, this line is 195. Okay, and this is 180. So 195 take away 180, that is equals to 15. This is 180, this straight line. Let me show you. As you can see, this straight line is 180. In 180, what we add to get 195? We add 15 degree, right? We added 15. So in 15 and 70, so this angle is also 70. If this is 70, this is also 70. So in 70 we have to subtract 15. Okay, 70 take away 15, this angle is 55. So the inner angle of A, I hope this makes sense now, this is 55. Sum of all angles of a triangle add up to 180. So we can say angle A plus angle B plus angle C, they add up to 180 degree. We got the angle A, which is 55. Angle C is given. Let's solve for angle B. We have 55 plus angle B and angle C is 113. Their sum is 180 degrees. Now for angle B, we can say from 180 degree, you have to subtract 55 and subtract 113. Okay, 180 minus 55 minus 113, this is 12. So that angle is 12 degrees. So in 70 to 70, we have to add 12. This would be the bearing, which is 82, 082. We can write it down. Question number 9, P is a point 410, Q is a point -85. Find the coordinates of midpoint of PQ. So for midpoint, we have the formula. Add up the x components, which is 4 and -8. 4 minus 8 divided by 2. Add up the y component, which is 10 and 5 and divided by 2. So this becomes -4 over 2, and here we have 15 over 2. -4, 2 times 4 is 8, 2 times 2 is 4. So the x component is -2, and what is 15 by 2? I guess it's 7.5. Yes, 7.5. That is the midpoint. Question number 10. The test score of 17 pupil, 13 are recorded. Okay. Part A, find the median. Median is the middle value of the data, but make sure it must be arranged from lower to higher. 21, 23, 23, 24, 26, 27, 34, 37, then 38, 40, 42, 43, and 48. So as you can see, they are arranged in the ascending orders from lower to higher. So median is the middle value of the data. Since they are odd numbers, so it must have one middle value. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That is the middle value of the data. So we can say the median is 34. Now for part B, find the interquartile range. Interquartile range is the difference between the upper quartile, subtract the lower quartile. All right, now we know the median is 34. The lower quartile is lower half of the median and the upper quartile is upper half of the median, right? So you will get the lower quartile before the median and the upper quartile after the median, right? So first we are working with the upper quartile. So upper quartile, we will get the upper quartile with these values. So since there are 1 2 3 4 5 6 values, so the middle one would be the two values. So with the average of these two values, you will get the upper quartile. Same, the average of these two values, you will get the lower quartile since they are even, right? So let me find out the lower quartile, which is Q1, which is 23 plus 24 divided by 2, and the upper quartile, which is Q3, where that is 40 plus 42 divided by 2. Simplify 23 plus 24 over 2 would be 23.5. 40 plus 42 divided by 2 would be 41, right? Now we can say the upper quartile is 41 and the lower quartile is 23.5. So 41 take away 23.5. That is 17.5 is the interquartile range for this data. Question number 11. Line L has an equation y equals to 6x minus 1. Part 1. Find the line equation of line parallel to line L that passes through this point. If they are parallel, it means they have the same slopes. Or we can say the same gradients. Here this slope of line L is equals to 6. The coefficient of x, y equals to mx plus c. Let me recall the concepts. So m, this is in the form of y equals to mx plus c. M is 6 and c is negative 1. So m would be your slope. Now for the new line which is parallel to L, has an equation y equals to mx plus c. M is the same. To get the value of c, what we have to do, we have to put these points. You can see this is the y-intercept. They already gave you the y-intercept. Or you can plug into the equation when putting the x equals to 0 and y equals to 3, you will get the c value equals to 3, 6x plus 3. Y equals to 6x plus 3 is the equation of line that is parallel to L. Now for part B, write down the gradient of the line perpendicular to L. Okay, so the gradient, or we can say the slope of line L is 6, and the gradient of line that is perpendicular to L, this is negative, and reciprocal of 6 is 1 by 6. Negative reciprocal every time. When the lines are parallel, they have the same slopes. When the lines are perpendicular, their slopes are negative with the reciprocal. Question number 12, find the integer value of x that satisfy the inequality. Okay, so first we have to get rid of this 4. So subtracting 4 on both sides, this is negative 5 is less than equals to minus 2x is less than 4, right? Now divide all of the sides by minus 2. Further simplification, minus is cancelled with minus. 5 by 2 is less than equals to x is less than 2 times 2 would be 4. This is negative 2. Okay, so what is 5 by 2? 2.5, yes. So the x values are between 2.5 is less than equals to x is less than negative 2. So all the integer values that are between 2.5 and negative 2. Negative 2 is not an equality. So negative 2 till 2.5. So negative 2 is not included. Then we have a minus 1. Then we have 0. Then we have 1. Then we have 2. But 2.5 is included, but that is not an integer. So these are only the integer values that satisfy the inequality. Question number 13. A, B, C, D, and E are the points on a circle. F, G is tangent to the circle at E. F to G. This is a tangent to the circle at point E. All right. Find number A, angle EAC. Okay, where is E, A, and C? This whole angle we have to find. So E, A, and C is this angle. This something add with 57. EA and C. You will get that angle. What is that angle? Okay, so EAD we have to solve first and then add up with 57. You will get the angle EAC. EAD. Okay, AD, E and D, they are subtended by A. E and D, they are subtended by C. So they have the same angles. When the angles subtended by the same arc, they are equal. You can see this angle A, E and D. So fix C and D, they are subtended by A, they are subtended by C as well. So both are equal. So to get that angle, we have to do 57, add up to 14. You will get that angle. 57 plus 14 is 71 degrees, that angle. Part B, angle ADC. ADC. A, D, and C, this angle. Okay. Here we have to use a concept of alternate segment theorem. Okay. So the alternate segment theorem says that the angle between the tangent and some chord. This is a tangent and this is chord. This is angle 34. The angle between the tangent and the chord is equals to the angle in its alternate segment, which is this. So this would be also equals to 34 degrees. Okay, now consider the triangle A, D and C. Okay, so this angle is 57. You have to solve for this angle. What is that angle? 34 and 14. This is 48. So this whole angle is 48 degrees. 48, 57 and subtract from 180. Okay, so we can say this angle is from 180, you have to subtract 48 and subtract 57 because sum of all angles of a triangle add up to 180. 180 minus 48 minus 57, this is 75 degrees. Now for part C, angle ABC. Where is A, B and C? A, B and C. This angle B we have to work on. Okay, that angle is 75, which we have done. Okay, so this is, as you consider A, B, C and D, this is a cyclic quadrilateral, a quadrilateral inside a circle, and we know that the opposite angles of cyclic quadrilaterals add up to 180. The angle D and angle B add up to 180. So we can say angle B plus angle D, their sum should be equals to 180. So let me solve for angle B, which is 180 minus the angle D, which is 75 degrees. So 180 take away 75, this is 105 degrees. Question number 14, find the three inequalities that define the unshaded region R. This would be the unshaded region. Okay. So the first one, as you can see, this is a straight line. So this line is x equals to -4. And this is equality, yes. So unshaded region is when the x values are -4 and less than -4. So the first inequality is x is less than equals to -4. Sorry, these are the more values. X is greater than equals to. I messed up. I'm very sorry for that. Okay, now let's figure out what is this line. It is a solid line. It has an x-intercept 4 and the y-intercept is 2. Okay, so we have the point, if we can say y equals to mx plus c, y equals to, okay, c is the y-intercept is 2, right? Okay, and we have to find the slope, which is rise over run. So from the y-intercept, if we fix this point, so we have to rise 1 unit down and run 2 units to the right. So -1/2 is the slope. Let me explain you how I get this. Okay, so to get the equation of line, which is y equals to mx plus c, c is the y-intercept. First fix the y-intercept, which is 2, and then from the y-intercept you can take any point. You can fix this point or you can fix this point to find the slope. Slope has a formula, m has a formula, which is rise over run. So from the y-intercept, how much you have to rise. Rise can be up or rise can be down. If it is up, it is positive. If it is down, it is negative. When I fixed this point, so my rise is 1 unit down and my run is 2 units to the right. So that would be the slope. Or we can further simplify. We can say y would be equals to negative x plus 4 over 2, or we can say 2y is equals to minus x plus 4, or x plus 2y would be equals to 4. So this line is x plus 2y is equals to 4, and lower portion is unshaded, so it is less than equals to. So we can say x plus 2y is less than equals to 4. You can keep this equation in that form, or you can, this is also correct. You can say y is less than equals to minus 1 by 2x plus 2. That is also okay. Now, the third one, this is a dotted line. So as in the dotted line, the y-intercept is equals to 1. Again, y equals to mx plus c. Y equals to x plus c is 1. Now let me solve for m. What is m in this case? Okay, so for this dotted line, if I fix this point, okay, so from the y-intercept, we have to rise 1 unit down and run 1 unit left, minus 1 over minus 1. So we have y equals to x plus 1. That is the equation. And the upper portion is shaded, so we can say y is greater than x plus 1. Not equality, because it is a dotted line, not a solid line. So these are the three pair of inequalities which satisfy the unshaded region. Question number 15, we have f of x and a function g of x. Part A, find number 1 g of negative 8. Just substitute x equals to negative 8, that is 7 plus 2 into minus 8. This is 7 minus 2 times 8 is 16. From 7 take away 16 is negative 9. Yes, negative 9. Second part, g f of 5. So g f of 5. So first find what is f of 5. G f of 5 is 2 into 5 square minus 3 into 5. So g would be equals to, let me solve for f of 5 here. 2 into 5 square minus 3 into 5. 2 into 25. 3 times 5 is 15. So 2 times 25 would be 50. Take away 15. Okay, 35. Yeah, it's 35. So we have to find g of 35 basically. So what is 7 plus 2 into 35? 2 times 35, add up 7. This is 77. Now this third part, g inverse of x. We have g of x. So y equals to g of x. And then switch the variables. X would be equals to 7 plus 2y. Now solving for y, that y would be your g inverse. So from x, take away 7 and divided by 2, you have y. X minus 7 over 2 is my g inverse of x. Part B, find f of x minus 6. Give your answer in the form of ax square plus bx plus c. Okay, so f of x minus 6, this would be equals to 2 into x minus 6 whole square minus 3 into x minus 6. This is 2. Open the square. A minus b square is the first term square minus 2 times the first term times the second term plus the second term square. A minus b whole square, this is equals to a square minus 2ab plus b square. Let's recall the formula. Minus 3 into x minus 6. This is 2 into x square. 2 times 6 is 12x. 6 times 6 is 36 minus 3x. And minus times minus is plus. 3 times 6 is 18. So this is 2x square minus 24x. And what is 2 times 36? 2 times 12 is 24, 2 times 36 is 72, plus 72 minus 3x plus 18. Okay, there is an x square term which is 2x square. The x terms are minus 34 and minus 24 and minus 3. Minus 24 minus 3 becomes minus 27x, and what is the constant? 72 and 18. 72 plus 18 is 90. Okay. So this is in the form of ax squared plus bx plus c. Moving to part C, solve the quadratic formula. Use a quadratic formula to solve this equation. Show all your working and give your answer correct to two decimal place. F of x minus 6 equals to 0. Okay. F of x is 2x square minus 3x. This is a value of f of x, you can see. Now subtract 6 equals to 0. We have to use a quadratic formula. So quadratic formula is equals to x is equals to minus b plus minus square root b square minus 4ac divided by 2 times of a. So what is my a? A is 2, b is negative 3, and the c value is negative 6. All right. Now substitute the values into the formula. A is a coefficient of x square, b is a coefficient of x, and c is a constant term, right? So now x would be equals to negative of b plus minus square root b square minus 4 times the a, and the c divides 2 times of a. Now x would be equals to 3 plus minus square root 9. Minus times minus is plus. 4 into 2 into 6 would be 48 divided by 4. In 48 add up 9, which is 57. So 3 plus minus root 57 out of 4 divided by 4. Now we have to find the two solutions up to 2 decimal place. Let's use a calculator. 3 plus root 57 out of 4 is 2.64. Up to 2 decimal place, it is round up because the next digit is 7. 3 minus root 57 out of 4, this is minus 1.1. It round up to 4. So these are the two solutions. Question number 16. Tina records the mass of each of 120 apples. The results are shown in the table. The mass and the frequency. Part A, calculate an estimate of the mean mass of an apple. So for the mean, we have the formula sum of fx divided by the total. Okay, so f is the frequency, x is the midpoint of these intervals, right? Let me solve the midpoint. So to get the midpoint, we have to add the ending points and dividing by 2. 165 is the midpoint for this interval. 180 till 220. 180 plus 220 divided by 2. 200 is the midpoint. 220 and 270 divided by 2. 245 is the midpoint. 270 plus 300, 270 plus 300 divided by 2 is 285. These are the midpoints of the intervals. Now f and x is a product. So let's do the product of f with x. Fx is the product of 18 and 165. 18 times 165, 2970. 2970. 28 times 200 is 5600. Sorry. And 65 times 245 is 65 times 245, right? This is 15,925. Okay. And what is 9 times 285? 2565. Okay, now for the mean, we have to add all of these quantities: 2970, 2600, 5600, 15925, and 2565, and divided by the total number of apples are 120, divided by 120. That would be the mean. Okay, 2970, 5600, 15925, 2565, and divides 120. So my mean is 225.5. 225.5 grams. Moving to part B, draw a histogram. Okay, to show this information. For histogram, we need the frequency densities and the masses. So what is frequency density? Frequency density is from frequency divided by the class width. Okay, so let me write down the frequency, the class width, and the frequency densities by dividing both of them. Let's make a table for this. Okay, so first write down the frequencies, which are 18, 28, 65, and 9. Okay, 18, 28, 65, and 9. Now, the class width is the difference between the interval, the difference between 180 and 150, which is 30. 180 minus 150, 30 is the class width. For the next interval, we have the class width 180 and 220. 220 minus 180, 40 is the class width. And then 270 and 220, 50. Yes, 50 is the class width. And the last one is again 30. 300 minus 270, 30 is the class width. Now to get the frequency densities, we have to do frequency divide by the class width. 18 over 30. 18 divides 30. This is 0.6 is the frequency density. 28 divides 40. That is 0.7. 65 divides 50. 1.3. And then we have 9 over 30. 0.3. Now we have the frequency densities and we have the masses. Let's draw the histogram. So when the mass is between 150 to 180, 150 till 180, the frequency density is 0.6. Okay, let me draw the histogram. The 0.6 is over here, and till 180, yeah, where is the 0.6? Yes. Okay, the next is from 180 to 220 interval. 180 to 220, this interval, it is 0.7. In between 0.6 and 0.8, we have a 0.7. So where is 0.7? 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So means 1, 2, and 2.5 units up. So 1 unit, 2 unit, and 2.5 in the middle. And we have 220. So let me join them. They are very small squares. That is the histogram. Okay, the next interval is 220 to 270, and then 270 to 300. 1.3 and 0.3. 1.3. This is 1.2. In between 1.2 and 1.4, there is 1.3. Okay, first fix 1.2. This is 1.2. So 1, 2, and in the middle. And we have to go up from this point as well. We will join at the end. Here is the 1.3. Okay, and the last one is 0.3. Okay, 0.3 is in between 0.2 and 0.4. Okay, so we have 0.2, 1 block, 2 block, and in the middle. Okay, 1 block down, 0.4. This is 2 blocks down, and this is the middle one. This is 0.3. This is how the histogram look like. Now for part C, number 1, one of 120 apples is picked at random. Find the probability that this apple has a mass 180 gram or less. Okay, how many apples have a mass 180, exactly 180 or less than 180? 18 apples have a mass out of 120. You can keep the answer as it is, or you can convert it into simplest form. Both is okay. 180 over 120, which is 3 out of 20. 3 out of 20. This is 3. Now for second part, 2 apples are picked at random. Now there are 2 apples are picked at random from those with a mass greater than 180 grams. Okay, apples having mass more than 180, not exactly, but more than 180 are 28, 65, and 9. So these are the apples. Find the probability that one of the apples has a mass greater than 270 gram and the other apple has a mass of 220 grams or less. Okay, which have a mass more than Okay, so first thing, two apples are picked at random from those who have a mass greater than 180. So what are the total apples now? Now the total apples are not 120. Okay, keep it in mind that the total the two apples we are picked with a mass more than 180. So the mass with more than 180 are 28, 65, and 9. So this is a sum of 28, 65, and 9. So the total apples 28, 65, and 9. 1, 0, and 2. So we can say now the total apples are 102. From those 102 apples, the first apple has a mass greater than 270 gram. Not 270, more than 270 are 9. The first one is 9 apples, and other one has a mass 220 or less. 220, this is 220, and less than 220 are just 28. Exactly 220 and less than 220 are 28. So there are 28 apples in this case, right? Okay, so how can we write down the probability now? So let's say the first apple, there are 9 out of 102 times the other one is 28 out of 101. Why it is 101? Because one apple is already picked. Plus, let's say the first apple has a mass 28 out of 102 times 9 out of 101. So there are two possibilities. The first apple, let's say the first apple he picked has a mass greater than 270 and the other one is less than 220, or the first one he picked has a mass 220 less than 220 and the other one is greater than 270. That is why there are two possibilities. So basically in 2 times we do 9 over 120, 102, 28 over 101. Okay, so 2 into 9 into 28, this is 504. Okay, and the other one is 102 times, yeah, it's times 102 times 101, which is 10302. 504 divide answer 84 out of 1717. So this is a fraction in its simplest form. You can keep it as it is, or this both are okay. Question number 17. The diagram shows a position A, B, C, D on a football pitch. Okay, A, B, C, and D. Part A. Show that the angle CAD, CA and D, this angle, is 82.6 degrees correct to one decimal place. Okay, A, C, A, and D. We have to solve for this angle. As you can see, if we consider this triangle A, C, and D, we have all the three sides, but we don't have any angle. So we can easily apply law of cosine over here. Law of cosine. Okay, as we have to work for this angle, so its front side is 20. So we can say 20 square equals to the other two sides are 18 square plus 10 square minus 2 into 10 into 18 and cos of A, angle A, which we are working on. So 20 square minus 18 square minus 10 square and divided by minus 2 into 10 into 18. This would be my cos of angle A. All right, let's simplify. 20 square minus 18 square minus 10 square. This is negative of 24 over 2 times 18 times 10. This is 360, negative 360. Negative is cancelled out with negative. This is my cos of A. Okay, so what is 24 over 360? 1 out of 15. So A would be cos inverse of 1 by 15. Cos inverse of answer is, this is 86.177. Up to one decimal place, the answer is 86.2. So it is proved that it is 86.2. Second part, calculate the obtuse angle. This must be an obtuse angle. That angle should be greater than 90 degree. ACB. A, C, and B. This angle we have to work on. Okay, so this angle and its front side, this angle and its front side. Let's apply law of sine here. And we use, I guess, ambiguous case of sine law to get that obtuse angle. Yeah, because sine laws we use we solve get obtuse angle by using ambiguous case. I will explain you. Let's do it step by step. Okay, this angle we have to find and its front side is 35. So we can say sine of C over 35. This would be equals to 27 and the front side is 18. Sine of 27 degrees over 18. So what is sine angle C? This is 35 over 18 times sine 27. Okay, 35 over 18, sorry, 35 over 18 times sine, this is in degrees, keep this in mind, right? 27. If it is in radian, you will not get the exact answer. So C would be equals to sine inverse of 0.8827. Let's do sine inverse of answer. C is 61.977 degrees. Now here we have to use ambiguous case because we need to find the angle more than 90. So for the obtuse angle, what we have to do, from 180 degree, we have to subtract this angle, 61.97. 180 take away answer. This is an obtuse angle, which is 118.0 degrees. Now for part C, a player runs directly from B to D in the time 5.3 seconds. A player runs directly from B to D. Okay, B to D directly. Let's draw the direct line. Okay, from B to D the player runs and its time, what is that time? 5.3 seconds. Calculate the average speed of the player. So the speed is equals to distance over time. Right, so average speed is total distance traveled from B to D, which we have to solve BD, over the total time taken is 5.3 seconds. So basically just work for the total distance traveled. Okay, if we consider this triangle A, D, A, B and D, this triangle, we have this side, we don't know this side. Okay, and we have done with this angle, which is 86.2. Let's solve for this angle. What is that angle? As we have done, this angle is 118 degrees. Sum of all angles of a triangle add up to 180. Let me work for this angle. Okay, so from 180 we have to subtract 118 and subtract 27. 35 degrees is that angle. Okay, so the whole angle is 35, add up 86.2. 121.2. Let me draw this triangle separately on the other page to understand the situation. Sorry. Here the player runs from B to D. This is B and this is D. Okay, and this length is 10 meters, this length is 35 meters, and this is A, and the angle is 121.2 degrees. Okay, now we have to apply law of cosine, yes, to get this front side BD because its angle is given to us. So we can say for law of cosine, we have BD square equals to 10 square plus 35 square minus 2 into 10 into 35, and cos of the angle is 121.2 degrees. Okay, so BD square, this is equals to, let me do it. Okay, it is in degrees, so cos 121.2 times 35 times 10 times negative 2, add 35 square, add 10 square. This is 1687.61. So for BD, take a square root, 1687.61. Okay, square root of answer is 41.08. 41.08, or if we round it to 41.1 meters, this length is 41.1. Okay, now we have this distance, right? So the total distance traveled from B to D is this much, and the total time taken is this seconds, right? So now we can easily get the speed. Speed is total distance traveled over total time taken. So divide 5.3, that is 77.75 meter per second. Question number 18, f is inversely proportional to the cube of g. It means f is inversely proportional to the cube of g. F equals to some constant of proportionality k times 1 over g cube. Right. When f is 0.5, g value is 3, we have to solve for k first. So f cross multiply into g cube, this would be equals to k. So f value is 0.5 and the g value is 3, its cube, you will get the k. This is 0.5 and we know that 3 cube is 27 and this is my k. Let me simplify. What is 27 times 0.5? This is 13.5. K value is 13.5. Now for part A, find f in terms of g. F in terms of g. So f in terms of g is f equals to k value, which is 13.5 divides g cube. This is f in terms of g. Now for part B, g is increased by 100%. Find the percentage change in f. All right, so as we have given that g is increased by 100%, it means if g value is some a, then 2a, 3a, 4a, so it is increased by 100%. So we can suppose that let g equals to a. Percentage change, it means we have to solve for two f functions and you have to take a difference. When g value is a, what is my f? F would be equals to 13.5 over a cube. Right now, next, suppose g equals to 2a. What is f? F would be equals to 13.5 over 2a whole cube. This would be 13.5 over 8a cube, right? Now percentage change, so first we have to find the change in f. Change in f, this is my f1 and this is my f2. So change in f is basically f2 minus f1, right? So let's do this. F2 is 13.5 over 8a cube minus 13.5 over a cube. Okay, so for this we can say 13.5 over a cube is common. We are left with 1 over 8 minus 1. Let me simplify this. 1 over 8 minus 1, it becomes negative 7 over 8. Okay, now the percentage change in f. I don't have much space, so I'm doing the rest of the part at the top, right? So let me label this. I'm doing this part B over here, right? Okay, so for percentage change, we can say percentage change in f. This is equals to f2 minus f1 over f1. So we have done with f2 minus f1. This would be equals to 13.5 over a cube into minus 7 over 8. And it is going to divide with a f1, which is 13.5 over a cube. Over a cube. So this quantity is cancelled with this quantity. So the percentage change in f is negative 7 over 8%. Negative 7 by 8, or we can say negative 7 over 8, this becomes negative 0.875. You can keep it as a fraction or as a decimal, both are okay. Question number 19. The area of a rectangle is 12 meters square. Correct to the nearest square meter. Correct to the nearest 1 square meter. Square meter, square meter. So it is 1. It is going to divide by 2. This is 0.5. Right. So correct to the nearest, it means we have to find the upper and the lower bounds. Right. Since the area is 12, you have to add 0.5. In 12, you have to subtract 0.5. This is 12.5 and this is 11.5. Okay. Now the rest of the part of the question says the base of the rectangle is, sorry, the triangle is 5.7 meter, correct to the nearest 0.1 meter. Both have the same units. Again 0.1 divided by 2, 0.05. Let me double check. 0.1 divided by 2 is 0.05. For correct to the nearest, again finding the upper and the lower bound. Base of triangle, this is 5.7, add 0.05, and then 5.7 subtract 0.05. Okay, so let me simplify. 5.7 plus 0.05, this becomes 5.75. 5.7 minus 0.05, it becomes 5.65. Okay, now we have the upper bounds and the lower bound. This is my upper bound, this is my lower bound, this is my upper bound, and this is my lower bound. Okay, all right, now the question says calculate the smallest possible height of the triangle. Okay, so as we know that area of a triangle is half base times height. We have to solve for height. Now to solving for height, you have to cross multiply 2 times a divided by base. This is my height. Okay, so for height we have to solve uh, the smallest possible height. Smallest mean the lower bound of height we have to solve, right? So whenever in quotient we have to find the lower bound, then we have to pick the lower bound of the numerator and the upper bound of the denominator. And when we are working with the upper bound in quotient, then upper bound of the numerator and the lower bound of the denominator. So the lower bound areas, lower bound we have to use, and the base upper bound we have to use. Okay, so we can say the height, lower bound, the smallest possible value of height is 2 times the lower bound of area, which is 11.5, divides the upper bound of base of the triangle, which is 5.75. Let me simplify. 2 times 11.5 divides 5.75. This is equals to 4. So this is 4 meters, the smallest possible height. Question number 20, the diagram shows the frustum of a cone. Okay, the frustum has a base radius 0.6 meters and the vertical height 0.48 meters. The vertical height of the original cone is 1.44 meters. Calculate the total surface area of a frustum. So total surface area is basically the top area, which is a circle, the bottom area, which is a circle, and the curved surface area of this frustum, right? So how do we get the curved surface area of this frustum? We have to find the curved surface area of the larger cone, and subtracting the curved surface area of the smaller one, we will get the curved surface area of the frustum, right? Okay, as we can see, this is a smaller cone and this is a larger cone. When one shape is inside of the other shape, then we can easily guess that the two shapes are mathematically similar, right? Since the two cones are mathematically similar, okay, the two cones are mathematically similar. So first let me figure out what is this height of the smaller cone. How do we guess the height of the smaller cone? From the larger, subtract this one. We can say 1.44 minus 0.48. This height is 0.96. 1.44 minus 0.48, which is 0.96 meters. Okay, so now we have the heights of two cones, the height of the larger one, the height of the smaller one. Okay, the two cones are mathematically similar, so the ratios of their corresponding sides are equal. Let's say this is a smaller cone, its radius is small r, and this is a larger cone, its radius is capital R. The height of the larger one, the height of the smaller one. So if I can draw this if I can draw this vertical height, the vertical height is 1.44 and the radius is 0.6. 0.6 and 1.44. Okay, and this would be the slant height L. Okay, the capital L. We're working with the capitals. Now for the smaller cone, if we have, this is a smaller cone, you can see for the smaller cone, we have the vertical height is 0.96 and the radius is small r, the slant height is L. We have to work on. All right. So since the shapes are mathematically similar, the ratios of the corresponding sides are equal. So we can say the radius of the smaller over the radius of the larger equals to the height. Yes, height of the smaller over height of the larger. Small, small, large, and large, right? Radius of smaller is r. The radius of larger is 0.6. This would be equals to the height of the smaller is 0.96 and capital H represent the height of the larger cone 1.44. Let me solve for the radius of the smaller cone from here. 0.96 over 1.44 multiply 0.6. You will get the radius. Okay, 0.96 divide 1.44 times 0.6. 0.4. So 0.4 meters is the radius of the larger one. 0.4 meters. Right. Now we can easily find the slant height. Right. This is 0.4 over here. Okay. Now to get the slant height again, we have to use the same concept that the ratios of the corresponding sides are equal. No, because we have two slant sides. We cannot use this concept. So use a concept of right angle triangle. Solve the hypotenuse for both. The hypotenuse is L square, which is equals to 0.6 square plus 1.44 its square. So what is L? L is going to be 0.6 square plus 1.44 square and the square root of that answer. This would be 1.56 meters. Same do for the small l square, which is 0.4 square and 0.96 its square. Let's solve for the small l. 0.4 square plus 0.96 square. The square root of answer is 1.04 meters. Okay. Let me label this. This is 1.04 and this is 1.56. Okay, now we have all the dimensions for the larger and the smaller cone, right? Now to get the curved surface area of the frustum, we have to find the curved surface area of the larger one, subtract the smaller one. So let's work for the curved surface area of a cone, right? So the curved surface area of cone is equals to pi RL. That is a formula, right? Now for the area one, we can say curved surface area of larger cone. This is pi RL. And for area 2, we can say curved surface area of small cone. This is pi RL. Okay, use the dimensions. So we have the pi. The radius of the larger one is 0.6 into 1.56 is L. Now 0.4 and 1.04. Pi into 0.4 into 1.04. All right, so let me work on this. Okay, 0.6 times 1.56 times by pi, this is 2.941. 2.941 meter square. The other radius is 0.4 into 1.04 into pi, 1.307 meter square. All right. Now let's solve for the curved surface area of a frustum, as they have provided us a separate sheet. So let me work for the curved surface area of a frustum. We can say the curved surface area of frustum is curved surface area of a larger cone, subtract the curved surface area of the smaller cone, A1 and A2. Let me explain one more time. Here is the curved surface area of the frustum. To get this, from the larger cone, subtract the smaller cone because smaller is not the part of the frustum. Okay, the larger cone area is, we have done 2.941 minus 1.307. Okay, 2.941 minus 1.307. This area is equals to 1.634 meter square. Okay, so now let's find out the total surface area. So now the total surface area of frustum is equals to curved surface area of frustum plus top area plus bottom area. Okay, so you can see the top area the circle, the bottom area the circle, and that is a curved one. So we have done with the curved one, which is 1.634. The top one is a circle, which is pi r square. The bottom one is also a circle, which is pi r square. Okay, small radius and the large radius, 0.4 and 0.6 we have to use. So 1.634 plus pi 0.4 square plus pi 0.6 square. Simplify this, add up with okay, 0.6 square times it by pi. This becomes 1.634 plus 1.130 1.131 we can say, plus 0.6 square times it by pi. Okay, I did the 0.6 first. Okay, that's fine, just addition. Okay, now 0.4 square times it by pi. This is 0.503 up to 3 decimal place. Okay, 0.503 plus 1.131 plus 1.634. This becomes 3.268. Okay, if I round it to, this is 3.27 meters square. So that is the total surface area of the frustum. Right? So that was the last question of our paper. If you have any queries, please let me know in the comment section, and please subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Take care.